Hey y'all, welcome back to the sawmill.
Today's kind of a special video, at least for me it is, because we're back at the old home place. My great granddaddy bought this place in 1895. He had a place in Lakeland, and it was starting to get too crowded for him, so he decided to move to Plant City. And they still farm this. Um, we farmed it up until 2005, and then Daddy sold it because he was ready to retire, and I had other avenues I wanted to pursue. So we sold it, or he sold it, and so we're out here today. They cleared a little bit more land, and we got some pine trees that they wanted to know if we wanted. So obviously we did, and so we're going to take a little ride around, show y'all a little bit, and then we'll show you some of the pines.
Hope y'all enjoy this video.
And I don't know where this old cat come from, but my Granny Futch that used to live in that house right there, she always kept a cat that kind of looked like that. And Daddy always had cur dogs because he worked cows and everything else, and they would give my Granny Futch's cat a fit. And she kept a slingshot with a coffee can full of nuts and bolts, and she'd shoot them cur dogs when they'd come up there messing with her cat. So we're just going to take a little ride around the old farm place, show y'all a little bit, some of the history. Like I said, it was bought by my great granddaddy in 1895, and it's still farmed today. There's a couple of different houses on this property. Mainly they grow strawberries during the winter, because I don't know whether most of y'all know this or not, but Plant City is the winter strawberry capital of the world. We used to grow strawberries when we farmed it. They still grow strawberries today, but it's got a little patch of woods. A little swamp area. They actually grow blackberries along with the strawberries. Coming around one of the ponds, show you some of the blackberries, how they grow up in Florida. There's some of the blackberry plants. So this is one of the sheds that they pull around the field. They'll lift that door up, and the pickers will bring up the boxes of blackberries or strawberries, depending on what time of the year it is. Bring them there. They'll palletize them, get them on a truck, ship them out to you so you can eat them fresh.
Some of the blackberries. I don't know if you can tell on camera or not, but these things are huge. We're personal friends with them. That's why we're out here just picking us a couple to eat. They don't mind.
Shout out to Carl and Dustin Grooms. That's who farms it now.
So if you see Fancy Farms or what's the other one? Wisnaski.
Wish Farms.
Wish Farms. This is them.
Yep.
So if you have those in your grocery store, this is where
the Wish Farm produce comes from. Good old Plant City, Florida.
one thing I definitely miss here are the sunsets. They are absolutely beautiful. Looks like a home. Well, it looks like you got something too. Stop, stop, stop. What has he got?
I'm not sure. But there's a big hawk.
Focus.
I'm pretty sure that's a squirrel.
That's what I'm thinking.
A video?
Yeah, but it won't focus it. Oh, there it goes.
It's true Florida.
Yep.
Big old red tail hawk. Caught him a squirrel. Oh, there he goes.
He didn't go far.
Well, he ain't gonna leave it.
But look at that sunset through the trees. Oh. One thing I miss about the farm is those sunsets. Oh, they're beautiful. That's why I'll never leave Florida, because I'm not leaving the beaches on the West Coast. We have the most amazing sunsets.
I don't know if a lot of y'all know this, but a lot of peppers grow in Florida, especially Central Florida. We grow jalapeno, cubanelle, long hot bell pepper, poblano. Pretty sure I'm poblano peppers here. So it's a great farmland in Central Florida. So here's some of those great Florida grown jalapenos. Probably some of the best jalapenos you ever eat in your life, grown right here in Central Florida. Mexico ain't got nothing on us.
He was raised right here on this farm. See, look at that sunset. Oh, gorgeous. Right here on this farm. You miss it, babe?
Yep.
Me too. These right here are what we call conch peas. Not sure if y'all know what those are or have ever heard of them, but it's a little green pea, and they are really good. This was the house that Wesley and I lived in when we got married, which used to belong to
Us?
one of his aunt and uncles.
That we bought it from, and then I ended up selling it to one of my cousins.
And this is some more family. If you're in the Central Florida area and you got a forklift and you need it worked on, call Taylor Forklift.
Some of our timber that we've cut. They built a bridge over their ditch, extend the back of their barn. So that is the house that I grew up in.
Didn't your granddaddy build that house?
Yeah. It's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, frame, cracker style house, which when I grew up in it, it wasn't blue. But
and a lot nicer.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that, but none of this was out here then. But yep, that's the house. Wasn't much. Didn't have air conditioning. I didn't know what air conditioning was till I was 18 years old. We moved out of that house when I was 17 years old. Still living at home, and That's the old barn. But then we moved into this house down here, which, like I said, back when we farmed it, none of this was here. Fancy Farms put in quite a bit more stuff.
Get a picture of the original barn.
But there's the original barn that my granddaddy built in 1945, I believe. Like I said,
all these tractors,
all them old farmalls. Carl has a little soft spot in his heart for farmall tractors. International 140s. But you can see the original shed, the little brick part. They built this big shed underneath it. But that's the house that I lived in for a few years before I left.
Left where?
That's the house that had air conditioning.
When you left?
3-bedroom, 2-bath house.
When you left to go into the Air Force?
Yeah, when I went to the Air Force, that's when I moved out of that house. So that's a little tour of the farm. Like I said, my great granddaddy bought this place in 1895, and Florida Department of Agriculture put this sign up. That's an Amazon plane, Lakeland Airport. But anyway, this is a 5-generation Futch farm. Started with my great granddaddy and ended with my son Tyler. So that's just a little history lesson. And like I said, that's the second house that I lived in before I went in the Air Force and moved away and then came back. So this is the road. Goes down to the farm.
This right here is my father-in-law's peach orchard that he messes with. Once a farmer, always a farmer, I guess. And then over here, he has a little family garden that he grows all kinds of stuff, just depending on
What time of the
year it is. That's the neighbor's dog. There's that sunset. These are some big old pine trees. Our plan for all this pine is we have a house in Georgia that we are in the process of remodeling, and we are going to cut this up and use it for the remodel of our Georgia home.